AI is possibly the end of human creativity. This is, let me put up this story, but I also have a video clip. Why don't we kick it off with this video clip? And this is frightening. Illustrators that have a certain style, what is your motivation when with typing a few keywords and sentences, I can mimic your style in a piece of art based on myself meeting The Rock and hanging out with Sydney Sweeney? Okay. Let's take a look at this clip and then we'll go to the article for which we have notes. Check this out.
Rating it as you watch it.
Who does this put out of work? I mean,
well, it's you know, potentially the end of human creativity.
You believe that? You think it's just as good?
I think that what's coming is a world where we're not the only creative species, and that we will enjoy entertainment created by AIs. And so we wanted to train our AI on the greatest storyteller of the last 200 years, Orson Welles. He said, I learned from the master, John Ford, and John Ford. And so our AI is going to learn from the master, Orson Welles.
You're out there taking information that I guess is public at this point, but what right do the owners of that content have to saying, I don't want you taking this and making your own?
So
before this continues, this is based on, they are doing this right now, I believe at MGM. They are taking Orson Welles' The Magnificent Ambersons, and they are recreating scenes that were lost to redo it in the way that Orson Welles supposedly originally intended. This is wrong. This is, and I found out more about that Wizard of Oz at the Dome, or in at the Sphere, the Sphere in Vegas. They cut out 30 minutes of the movie. The movie is less than an hour. It's like an hour long.
It's $100
show. We'll watch more of this, and then we'll get into the story. Sorry to interrupt. This is now, do I like the little AI trailers and sort of goofy redneck Star Trek? Yes, I like that. I think it's fun as a meme.
69.
This is now getting scary.
This is an original show, Exit Valley. So we created the art for it. It's actually, I saw your tech CEO summit. It's a satire of Silicon Valley. Mm-hmm. It's called Exit Valley. And, you know, it stars characters like Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Mark Zuckerberg. And the idea is that if these people are going to become the richest people to ever live, why don't we use AI against them to satirize them a little bit?
But what about the idea of taking content, like Squawk Box is owned by CNBC. What about the idea of taking content like Friends, the studio that owns that?
Yeah.
So how does that happen?
This is a huge potential revenue generator for studios.
So you would pay the studios?
Well, they could create models with us, and we would not allow someone to create Friends without the right to do that. Without the rights, right. Yeah, but you could imagine a world where a movie would come out on a Friday with a model alongside it, day and date release of a model. So a film comes out on Friday, John Wick 5, let's say, and by Sunday, using the model, there are millions of new scenes, there are thousands of new episodes, there are hundreds of new movies. And when I explained this to the former head of one of the studios, they said, Edward, if you try to do this, not only will I not help you, but I'll do everything in my power to stop you. That was a year ago, but now I think Hollywood is getting much more excited about the idea that they could monetize all of that instead of going to Google VO and for free.
Working with them instead of taking it.
Exactly. They could make enormous amounts of money every time you generate a movie in the story world of a Star Wars. You're paying them.
How long do you think we are, or how far away do you think we are from that?
Well, we can already generate full animated episodes from a prompt, but it's a pretty much real time. So real time meaning to get 20 minutes would take 20 minutes. To get to the day and date release, I think we're looking at 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
And partnerships that are in play at this point. I've heard Disney might be a potential partner.
Yeah, we're talking to Disney about how a Star Wars might work or how other IPs might work. It works really well for story worlds. So this is a story world that I love. Maybe it's Tolkien, and I'd love to create my own stories with it and then all that money flows back to the IP holder.
Who likes it? The bean counters in Hollywood? Do directors look at this and say, hey, I can get creative with this and use this as a tool, or
the
not?
Artists that we're talking to feel that it's not just a tool, it's a new medium. It's an art form.
But don't you think that the writers, the actors, unless there's a true compensation scheme that directly flows back to them, and I imagine there will not be, or at least directly, that the companies will receive the lion's share of the profits, that you're going to have, you tell me, I would think that there are going to be actors and famed directors who are going to say, Disney, you go work with this guy, we're not working with you.
This guy is the next Bond villain.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put the link to this whole video in the description, but I want to go to the article about this badger. I believe we have notes if you can get right.
I was going to say, this was what Ben Affleck was saying when he was talking about AI, that all AI knows how to do is create, but an artist knows when to stop, and that a way to replace the revenue from DVDs that is gone could be in selling AI creation kits. You like it so much, you buy it, and that's their back end money again. All right. AI is possibly the end of human creativity. Edward Saatchi, CEO of the Amazon-backed startup Fable, believes the rise of AI marks possibly the end of human creativity, at least as something exclusively human. And he insists that it's not necessarily a bad thing. Speaking on CNBC's Squawk Box, Saatchi explained that what's coming is a world where we're not the only creative species and that we will enjoy entertainment created by AIs. His comments came as Fable's interactive platform showrunner announced a non-commercial academic project aimed at reconstructing the lost footage from Orson Welles' 1942 film, The Magnificent Ambersons. Saatchi noted that they chose Welles because they wanted to train AI on the greatest storyteller of the past 200 years. The original cut of the Ambersons, made shortly after Welles' masterpiece Citizen Kane, was famously altered by the studio while Welles was away in Brazil. About 43 minutes were destroyed so the silver nitrate could be recycled, turning the film into what many historians regard as a compromised version of Welles' vision. As filmmaker Brian Rose, who has spent years reconstructing the movie, explained, of 73 scenes in the original film, 21 were either cut completely or reshot, and 39 were shortened, and only 13 were left intact. They just radically altered the film. While Warner Brothers has not formally endorsed the project, Saatchi said the goal over the next 2 years is to get as close as possible to Welles' exact vision without finding the destroyed footage. Rose has already recreated sets in 3D and matched them to the original camera moves, scripts, notes, and photos, and archives to guide the AI process. Saatchi acknowledged the anxiety around AI in Hollywood, especially after the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes in 2023 secured protections over AI use. But he sees AI as a huge revenue generator for studios rather than a threat, predicting a future where a movie could launch alongside an AI model that allows fans to create millions of new scenes within days of release. Studios, once restrained, are now starting to come around to the idea of monetizing AI. They could make enormous amounts of money rather than leaving the profits to tech giants. Ultimately, Saatchi compared the creative possibilities to figures like Warhol and Da Vinci, calling the idea of AI producing art that spawns more art really exciting.
Yeah, I find this, welcome, DA, Derek Anderson.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Ladies. I find this kind of sad. We're going to go back and then make Orson Welles isn't here to even approve this. I think eventually the estates of the rights holders will kind of be bullied into doing this. What are your guys' thoughts, having seen now the video and having heard what's in the story?
I think money talks. I think these studios now, I don't know. Maybe they have some delusion that this was just going to be a fad or something, and they didn't have to take it serious. They realize they got to take AI serious now. So, like he said, the bean counters are probably are chomping at the bit. I think that they're already looking for a plan to put in place so that they can make this happen. Because, like the guy said, yeah, the actors, the directors, they're probably not going to let this happen easily. So there's probably plans in place right now to try to fight this against all the unions, because all the unions are going to be against this. But it's too late. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's
Pandora's box. It has been opened. The toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back in.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
The question I always have when it comes to this is the end user. Like, are we going to accept AI as the customer of content? Or are we going to say, yo, this feels fake, I don't like it, and I'm going to find somebody that's an actual human being making original creative things? Because if I'm gonna tell you right now, if I get a whiff of AI, yeah, right now it's kind of funny when you watch some of these AI videos. My brother was over here yesterday just showing me a whole ton of like Bigfoot AI videos, and we're having a good time and laughing at them. But to me, that's not real entertainment. It's kind of like a side. It's like a fad. I'm not gonna watch that every single day to get my entertainment fix. I might watch it once in a while, but if I get a whiff that something's AI, I automatically got my guard up and like, I don't know if I really care about this, and then as it goes on, you just kind of lose interest. I want creativity made by other human beings that relate to me, because I'm a human being. I'm not a damn robot or a computer or anything.
We do,
so I don't think it's going to speak to us.
Our kids might be sucked into it. Is the issue?
Yeah. Maybe, but I just feel like human beings are we go to. Who was I listening to? We go to movies to actually watch ourselves. We don't go to watch the characters on the screen. We're trying to relate. That's the whole point. We're trying to relate to something, a story. So if it's not a human being writing a story, can that storyteller AI relate to humans? I don't know.
Well, like even just watching short form videos, like 8-second videos or 30-second videos on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, whatever, your brain knows that something's off when you're watching these AI videos. Your brain automatically says this is really weird. This is uncanny. You don't really like it. You get kind of like this disgust sort of in the back. You're like, oh, it's AI. Yeah. Yep. I don't really like that. You kind of react negatively automatically. It sort of disgusts you because it's so uncanny, and you get these, I don't like that. That's AI slop. I don't like it because it's just so unnatural. That you automatically, a part of you automatically rejects it, even though you'll some people, I will continue to watch it, but you still sort of reject it automatically, because there's just it triggers this disgust reflex in your brain because it's so uncanny. So for them to invest so much in it, is that going to be the reaction from the audience watching? Because you mentioned the Sphere, because they are doing the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, and they had to use AI to sort of recreate certain scenes. They cut some stuff out of it, but they used AI to incorporate some sort of scenes. And there are people that are coming out with reactions to that, and they say yeah, you can totally tell what is AI. And it kind of takes you out of it, takes you by surprise, because your brain automatically knows that something is weird about it. Yep. But they know that the overall experience of it is really good, but you can pick and choose and notice which parts are AI, and it sticks out to you because it's so
for
weird.
Now, though,
you
in
automatically
6 months,
know that something is weird, but
that could be over.
But that's not a whole movie or a whole TV show done with AI. That's just taking a movie that's already there and enhancing it, and incorporating sort of AI concepts into it. And you automatically know oh, that's sort of weird. I don't know how I feel about that, but the overall experience was good.
This is great news for independent filmmakers, because as Hollywood leans more and more into AI, the niche market of real movies and real stories will be left of independent filmmakers, and I think people are going to be more drawn to that than what AI is going to produce.
Yep, the human touch. You think about how we feel about CGI, all over the screen, and people are now saying, "Man, can we get back to practical effects?"
Yeah, we would rather watch cheap practical effects over CG.
It's going to be
the exact same feeling.
Alien Earth is a great example of that. The CG effects are so stupid in that thing, when you could have easily made a lot of these monsters practically and make it look a whole lot better. And
yeah, but none of this is going to matter, because all of these are going to go to straight to streaming services, man. Look, I've gotten to the point where pretty firmly believe the movie theaters are not going to be a thing 10 years from now. I feel like it's just not, at least not in the way that it is now. Like I said, it's going to be like a drive-in where it's going to be a very novelty thing, but I don't think that movie theaters are going to be where people are going to anymore. Where are we seeing that? I think if this AI thing does happen, it's just going to be all streaming movies anyway.
Yeah, I think you're going to see 1 or 2 chain theaters, and then the rest will be independent film theaters that
look at this.
Don't have the greatest screens, not that big, but they're showing the right stuff.
This movie slate looks like it was made by AI. This is 2027 movie slate.
Yeah.
Everything a sequel except Zelda, which is based on a game. This is all been done. Gato is original.
Okay.
Gato.
It's going to be like in Star Trek,
This is
where people eat
crazy.
replicated food, but people would also rather go to a real restaurant with food made by people. Yes, they're aware it's edible, but it's never going to replace home cooking. Will people watch AI slop? Sure, we watch it now. And eventually it might get so good you can't tell the difference, but it's still just never going to replace a human-made thing.